Hello, Facelandia. How are you? Welcome to our day 14 of the Unleash the Dragon Challenge. I'm just going to check out here, make sure sound's okay, everything moving fine, moving smoothly. And yeah, looks like everything's okay. All right, let's get started. So, welcome to day 14 of our Unleash the Dragon Challenge. And again, thank you for being here today. I hope that you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon here in Santa Cruz. It's a balmy, cloudy, foggy afternoon. And today we're going to be doing our second day of delving deeper into Python. And so let's get started. Let's do the basic breathing exercise, do a little boa bow and a little Python bow, and then we'll get into some of the exercises that we're going to be focusing on today. Okay, so the basic breathing. So again, you're drawing energy up through the soles of the feet. You're drawing earth and water up through the soles of the feet. The energy rises through the legs up to about the pubic bone. At the same time, you're drawing fire and air in through the hands. It rises up to the collarbones, to the little groove of the collarbones. Meanwhile, the energy from the legs continues to rise and joins the energy from the arms. So you have all of the elements meeting at the throat. And then they rise up, out through the crown of the head, into the sky, where you purify and energize. And then take that energy and bring it back down. And you can keep it simple and just let the energy go out the same way it came in. Air and fire out the hands, water and earth out the feet. You can also flip it, which creates a little bit more of a dynamic energy field and flow. So it's air, so it's water and earth out the hands, air and fire out the feet, which is fun because it makes you feel like a rocket ship. Okay, so we'll breathe in, and of course the mechanics are the same. It's a bit of a dark t-shirt. Maybe I'll move so you can have a lighter background here. But you're breathing into the lower back, middle back, upper back, and then into your lower abdomen or lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. And then as you exhale from the top going down. All right, so let's get breathing. And so letting the knees bend. Apparently I didn't drink enough water today either. Still coughing. All right, breathing, letting your knees bend, let your chest relax. Let the head drop and start to inhale, filling up. Lower, middle, upper back, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. Send that energy up into the sky, into the sun. Purify, energize, and then draw that energy back down. Let it pass through the body, out the way it came. And breathing in. Let the head face upward until your knees are bent, and then the head rolls forward. Exhale to the last drop of air. And inhale. One last time. And exhale. And cleansing breath. So 7 forced short out breaths on the way out. And breathing in, same way. Lower back, middle back, upper back, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. And hold the breath, purify that energy. Then as you exhale, You forcibly expel air as you travel down the midline of your body. One more time, breathing in deep. And standing, feeling your body. Good stuff. And I see some little posts here. Let me just check the scroll. Puppy is waving. Hello, Dorothy. You really like the breathing exercise. Glad to hear it. Delighted to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. And great. Pamela. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Jenny. Nice to see you all. All right. Hey, look, I can wave at you all. There we go. Trying to. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. So let's continue with our breathing. So now we're going to do rejuvenation breath. So we're going to do the tapping breath. Okay. And relaxing, releasing any unnecessary tension. And then breathing in, finger tapping, letting the finger taps be like an ultrasound massage on your internal organs. Hold the breath, cup the palms. Exhale. Release any unnecessary tension. And breathing in, finger tap. And feel your body. I guess just little tips on that breathing. So like over the years, as I've thought about it more closely and tried to be like more diligent about bringing energy in through the feet and the hands, I wondered to myself, well, wait a minute, how can I like be bringing in energy through my palms while I'm finger tapping? And I just let it go. I just imagine that energy coming in to my torso and then going up the stream, the midline of the stream at the midline of the body. It's important to not get too dogmatic or rigid when you're thinking about the energy imagery. It helps to practice with the first retention breath to follow that imagery because it helps stimulate your proprioceptive awareness in your arms, which are important limbs. There's so much attention that's dedicated to our hands, and it's by thinking about the hands that way, it brings aliveness and awareness to your motion and to your body that way. But after that, just visualizing the energy, visualizing the quality of texture of those elements coming into your body. And while you're tapping yourself, I know for myself, I usually tend to focus more on my body. I'm not really focusing on the energy going up towards the sky. But I do have a sense of sending it up there, letting it take care of its business, and then bringing it back down. So I just wanted to share those little kinds of things. Yeah, so don't be too rigid or rule following about the imagery, but do explore it and do find what works best for you. Okay, so let's keep going. So that was our rejuvenation breath, and now let's do the prana shake. So, exhaling and breathing in. And exhale. So you inhale, drawing up those 4 elements into your body. You turn the hands up, you close the energy circuits, pack the energy into your body, draw all of those elements into your spinal column, and then you're shaking your spinal column, stirring up all of those energies. And then, when you can't hold your breath anymore, you exhale, release. One more time. And stand, feel your body, feel how your body feels. Good. All right. So let's do a little bit of the boa bow and a little bit of the python bow, and then we'll get into our exercise for today. All right. So, boa, feet together, and again, take a moment, tap in to the empathy, to unconscious, feel like your empathy is billowing out in waves, touching the contours of the space that you're in. Anything that happens in the space is happening with you, is happening in you. You take it in, and if you don't need it, you let it go. Feel like your limbs are floating on little hot air balloons. And you're breathing through your skin. As you move, you're moving breath through your body. So have that feeling when you do boa. And exhale. Reach behind, turn the feet in. Scoop the inside of the barrel. Fill up with breath. Turn the feet out as the hands go out. Turn the feet parallel as you hold the world and stop the world. Then bring it in. Take what you need. Let go of the rest. Momentary resurface, and then plunge back down. Soften, relinquish, surrender, flow. And stand. And for the boa, just stay where you are. For the boa, you use the mudra, which is the thumb on the second joint of the index finger, and you just hold your hands in that position. The palms make a sort of gentle cupping shape, and you just hold that while you hold the big balloon of breath. And release boa. Good. And feel how you feel. And let's do a little bit of Python. So, feet together. So, we Python. You start off, you drop. Exhale. Breathe up the spine, the back. Breathe up the front of the torso. Let the breath raise your arms together. I'll just take a step back here. And slam the heels into the ground as you to pack energy into your bones. And then ride down the wave. And dropping down, breathing into your lower back, middle back, upper back, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. And pack energy into the bones as you slam the heel into the ground. And then bring the hands down. It draws a letter J. And then comes back. Comes to your armpits. And then down the side. One more time. And one more time. And good. And feel your, let's do the triangles. So feet out to the side, hands out to the side. Breathing into the lower triangle from the soles of the feet to the groin, and then into the second triangle from the tips of the fingers to the top of the head. Fill up one circle, fill up the second triangle, I meant. First triangle, second triangle. And then as you exhale, settle down the top triangle, settle down on your second triangle, your bottom triangle. Okay, so that's the Python bow. Let me just check in with the scroll, see if anything else has come up. Ooh, hello Joy, nice to see you. Hello Elizabeth. Hello, yeah, hello Jennifer. There we go. A few more hand waves. There we go. There we go. Nice to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So that's the Python and the Python bow. And today, what we're going to delve into a little bit more is a breathing practice that really works well with Python. And my teacher Constantine called it the melons. And you can think of these as big watermelons of breath. And the melons is a really great exercise for helping think of how to use your breathing to facilitate your motion. It's also, we just always called it the melon, and it turns out that there's a corollary it's the same kind of idea in Chinese martial arts and traditional Taoist alchemy and traditional Chinese medicine. It's the Ming Men. And so these, you talk about the lower Ming Men, the middle Ming Men, the upper Ming Men, and these are like areas or chambers. They're essentially diaphragmatic cavities. And what you usually do in Chinese martial arts is you fill them up, especially at the back. And that's the traditional kind of practice in a lot of martial arts. The way that my teacher taught it, and you can take it as you will, is you think of it as a big watermelon full of air, and you've got three. So it's one down here, one in the middle, and one up here. And we're going to focus first on the lower one because it's basic, it's fundamental, it ails you, it cures you for anything that ails you. It's a really good place to start, and it's really great for our Western society where we spend a lot of time sitting at computer consoles. So if you just take your hand, take both of them and place one at your lower abdomen, place one at your lower back. And what we're gonna do is a little exercise to stimulate the imagery of this melon. All right, so first you start off, have a little bit of pressure in the anal sphincter. So don't squeeze too hard, just a slight little pressure like you're holding a delicate bird, but you don't want to crush it. That same kind of tension. And so you have a little bit of tension in your perineum, in the anus, and as you hold that little bit of tension, you're going to breathe into, let's start off with breathing into the lower back first. It's a great way to start. So just keep everything else the same, and when you inhale deeply, feel like you're breathing only into your lower back so that your fingers spread apart and even maybe get pushed out, a little bit. Okay? So we'll start that way first. We'll breathe into the lower back and feel your fingers spread apart a little bit, and then as you exhale, feel the fingers come closer together. Keep doing that. Keep inhaling into your lower back. Feel your fingers spread apart. As you do that, you're also paying attention to the rest of your spine and you're relaxing it so that the only place that's moving and expanding is your lower back. It won't be perfect, not by a long shot, but keep relaxing the unnecessary tension in the rest of the spine as you focus on that lower area of the spine. Okay? And I'm just checking to see. Hello, Maureen. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. All right. And so let's do this for a bit. And breathing in. Other parts of your body will respond. Don't worry about correcting, but focus on relaxing. This is a great exercise to do on the floor, by the way, where you can just lay with your feet flat on the floor, your knees up, and breathe into your lower back so that the lower back presses into the floor. We're doing it standing up. Okay, good. Sometimes adjusting your posture can help. So for example, I'm noticing that sometimes when I breathe into my lower back, and I'm trying to only breathe into my lower back, my front of my belly also pops out. Some of that's because I've trained it a lot. But what I can do is that I can also adjust my posture. My belly's going to pop out if I'm leaning back. So I lean more straight up and down, maybe even slightly bit forward, and then all of a sudden, my belly will stop popping out when I inhale, and I can more... I can better concentrate my inhale into my lower back. So sometimes there's little adjustments you can make, like where your weight is shifted front to back, or how much you turn your pelvis underneath you, which we're going to get to when we get to Tiger. We'll talk about lines of alignment. Okay, so breathing in, again, just a little bit more into the lower back, the lower Ming Men, so you feel like you've got a watermelon in your hip, and right now we're focusing on breathing into the back of that watermelon, making the watermelon swell up backwards. Okay, good. Now this is where the image of the watermelon sort of takes on a little bit more oomph. Now we're going to breathe into the whole of the watermelon. So we're going to breathe in so that it presses your back, presses your front out and forward. It presses the sides of your hips out to the side, and it presses your perineum down a little bit. Not much. You don't want to like be expletive of it, but you're just pressing out. You're just pressing your perineum out. So have a hand on your front, have a hand on your back, and we're going to fill up the melon, and we're going to use our hands as feedback to tell us where our breath is going. And we're going to focus mostly, with the hands, we're going to focus mostly on the front and the back. You're not going to get that much feedback, of course, from your hips because it's, it's solid bone and fascia. But it is nice to let your hands caress around, again, because it stimulates proprioceptive awareness. And it does, there's something about promoting circulation all around the pelvis that doing this with the hands facilitates. It's a nice exercise. Okay, so breathing in deep and filling up the melon, front, back, side to side, and then exhaling just from the lower melon. And everything recedes and contracts back like a balloon. So you expand the balloon, and then you contract the balloon. I'm relaxing in the rest of my body. One more time. Good. Okay, so you have that sense of the melon in your lower abdomen area. And there's a lot that can be said about that. So right now what we were doing was moving our body, using our breath to move our body, right? So you're deliberately breathing and forcing air into those lower cavities, and then you're and then you're exhaling, and the cavities get smaller. And so you're using your breath to cause the motion. But you can also flip that, and you can use your motion to cause the breathing. So you're just an empty bag, like a grocery, like a fruit, a produce bag. And in order to get air into the bag, I have to move the bag. So I do the same thing with my body. I move my body around, and I open up my breath passageway so it's just neutral. And by how I move my body, air comes into my body. Let's try that a little bit. So we're going to focus on just moving the lower melon, expanding it out with our muscular control, and then creating a vacuum that allows air to come into the body. Okay, let's just try it out and get funky with it. If you got to bend over, bend back, side to side, whatever works for you, go for it. And see how your motion can facilitate your breathing. So I'm pressing air out of my melon as I do this. And I've filled up the melon with breath as I've pushed my stomach muscles out, moved my back in one direction, and maybe I didn't fill it all up in one shot, but I got air into the different cavities by wriggling and maneuvering around. So just try it for a second. And the reason why we're doing this is because it's important to Python. Python is a master at breath manipulation, so that means it breathes, it voluntarily controls its breath, but it can also allow its breath to be passive. It can also allow its breath to be passive. Okay, so let's try it a little bit. And exhaling. Trying to get air out from every part of the lower melon. And then I'm going to inhale or move and get air in. Exhaling. Inhaling. Okay. And you'll notice if you try that for a little bit, there's a very different kind of relaxing feeling that you get when you let your breath be moved by your bodily movement. And it's a really great form of relaxation. It also taps into the Python mindset. Now, the Python is really, it's hard to explain this in just simple words, but it's a little bit like being a scientist and getting a sense that what you are observing is just natural laws that are expressing themselves, through organisms, and the organisms are almost passive in a way. It's a bit of a stretch, but you get the idea. It's sort of it's looking at natural mechanisms at work. I'm going to let this go right now. I didn't prepare enough for this explanation, so I'll let it go. But you're looking at your breathing mechanism from another perspective, and that different perspective informs how those mechanisms work naturally. That's the general idea. Okay, so we've done that with the lower melon. Let's do the upper melon, or the middle. So we have the three melons. Let's do the middle one here. So hand on your chest. Let's do the back first. And I'll just face away from the camera here. And again, you're breathing in. And as you inhale into the rib cage area at the back, your fingers should spread apart a little bit. And then as you exhale, they come back together a little bit. So just focusing on your middle back. And if you can't get your hand, I've got my palms facing in. If you can't do that, then the back of your hand is fine. So just breathing into your middle back. Exhaling. Keep going, breathing in. And again, you may feel, some part of your torso inflating and deflating as well. Sure, use your posture to try and correct it, but focus more, instead of on correcting, on relaxing. So breathing in. Good. And hand on the front, hand on the back. And now focusing mostly on this middle section, around your rib cage, your sternum, your xiphoid here. And breathing in, front and back. It's not going to be a big difference. It's subtle. Good. Now, again, it's a melon, so it's expanding front, back, but also side to side. So hands on the sides of your ribs, just above your floating ribs. And breathing in. And as you exhale, and inhaling. Good. One more time. Good. And last time, exhale. Excellent. Okay, relax, feel what your body feels like. And now just casually play around with breathing into the two bottom ones. Okay, good. All right, now let's try the top melon, the top diaphragmatic cavity. And let's focus on the back part first. This is hard to reach with your hands, so this can be useful to do against a wall or against, actually I can do this against a wall. Against a wall or flat on your back on the ground. And just focus on breathing into the space between your shoulder blades and the base of your neck, the seventh cervical. So breathing in. Focus your breath as though you're sending your breath into one part of a very big balloon. You're probably not leaning against a wall, so I'll just do this as though I'm standing up. I'll just do this standing up. So you're breathing into the back. And again, this is subtle. I'm using my hands for feedback. I know the rest of my body is responding, but I'm concentrating my awareness in that top section. Good. And now in the front. And breathing into the front of this upper melon. The rest of my body is responding a little bit, but it's secondary to the action that's happening up here. Okay, good. All right, and then just stand, feel what your body feels like. Oh, we forgot the side. So let's do the upper melon. So we have the front of the melon, the back of the melon, and then you feel the sides of the melon. And this is, it's fun. You can place your hands like on the inside of your armpits, almost like you're a duck, like when you're a kid and you pretend you're a duck. And where you have the nerve plexus there, where it sort of tickles a little bit more, you breathe in side to side and up. And you try to fill that melon side to side, and as it fills up side to side, it also lifts up a little bit. And you can have your hands like the duck here, or you can just have your hands open. But they sort of just like, you let them relax, and this tension, the tensegrity, the suspension just presses them naturally into your sides. And then as you inhale, you're pushing those hands out. Good, excellent. All right, and relaxing, and just feel what your body feels like. So when I do that, this area is has always been a challenge for me, so I have to like really concentrate on it. When I do it, I feel what I feel now, which is more open here, and my neck a little bit more elongated. And I hope that you have, and that you notice different kinds of sensations in your body from having done that melon and the other two. Now let's visit them all three together. So let's breathe into the lower, the middle, and the upper melons, one after the other. Fill up the lower, fill up the middle, fill up the upper, and exhale. and lower, front and back, side to side, middle, front and back, side to side, upper, front and back, side to side. And then exhale. One more time, breathing in. And exhale. Good. Let's do the same thing we did earlier and move the body in order to guide the breath. So my body, my pulmonary system is neutral, and the breath is coming in by virtue of the movement that creates a negative pressure that draws the air in. Fill up. Exhale. Empty out. And then good. Relax. Feel what your body feels like. So for myself, I now feel more well-rounded, as if my body was a bag and I could feel all the way around the bag, but I also feel like that bag is now relaxed and slack and just like drooping down. Those kinds of practices are, there are variations of this kind of practice in a lot of other different martial arts and yogic arts. Taking this to a more, a higher extreme, when you're in a fight or something, you're moving around, and this kind of an exercise helps you to keep breathing while you're moving. So you're letting the movement of your torso do the breathing for you. So you concentrate less on your well-being, and you have more energy to concentrate on what's going on around you. This is where the Python lives. So as you do these exercises and you deliberately control the breathing, you notice the quality of your attention. Then as you move your body in order to get air in or out from your body, you notice the quality of attention. And first of all, Python likes that second kind of attention where the body is moving and the body is moving the breath. There's something that is relaxing and more passive, more reclining. That's where the Python lives. But noticing the difference between the two kinds of attention and building a bridge between them, that makes your Python stronger. That feeds your Python. So what the Python is about is learning all of these different patterns of breathing and noticing how they impact attention. And some forms of breathing and attention are more active, and some forms of breathing and attention are more passive, more receptive. And the Python balances both. Okay, so that's the melon exercise, and it's fantastic for martial arts of any kind, dance, yoga of any kind. Having that structure to build on, having that breathing structure with the three melons is just, it's a great gift. So anytime you're doing any kind of pose or posture, you scan through your body and you check out those three melons and you fill them out. So whatever it is, you're a yoga warrior pose, and whatever, and you strike it, you find your skeletal, your muscular alignment, you go through your checklist, and then add the melons and can you feel the melons all the way from the bottom up to the top? And it may not make a large postural difference, but it will have it'll make small nuanced changes in your posture. And you'll find, I guarantee you, just little areas that can be better integrated into your pose that then make it less effortful to hold that position or to do that flow or to deal with a particular opponent. So a lot of really advanced practice is, holding a position for a while or moving really slowly or doing a small little micro adjustment while you superimpose, you lay on top of that the breathing pattern, a specific breathing pattern, in this case the melons. And that integrating of the breathing and the posture is just nice. Okay. So let's take the melons into some Python movement. And here we go. So we're gonna do the Python bow, and there's more to the melons, but we'll let it go for now. But what I want you to do is to fill up each of those melons and to feel the connection between the melons and the arms. Okay? So up until now, we've just sort of been rolling up and letting the arms go up. Now what I want you to feel is you're filling up each of the melons, and every time you're filling up, as you're filling up the melons, especially the backs of them, that's what allows the arms to rise up. Okay? So let's do it together. And breathing in, lower, melon, middle melon, upper melon, and exhale, hold the breath, pack energy into the bones, and exhale from the top down, and drop. Okay, one more time, and good. Filling up the melons, lower, middle, upper, and then as you exhale, emptying out from the top down. One more time. Good. And standing, bottom triangle, top triangle, fill them up. And then as you exhale, settle down in the top triangle, settle down in the bottom triangle. Good. Good. So that was a lot. Let me just check in the scroll here, see how everything's going, if there's anything new. Nope. Okay, good. That was a lot. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with too much detail there. But it's a really great exercise, a great image to work with and play with. There's just no end in the amount of development of technique that you can enjoy from that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so that's Python. So let's do a little bit of Python motion and bring the melons into it a little bit. So what did we start? Oh yeah, right. So we started off last class with this kind of like the quality of the Python and how it moves. So you've got Curare in the shoulders, and you're just you can't move your arms except by moving your torso. So you get this like rubber arm Grover from Sesame Street kind of quality. And then on top of that, you add a deliberate flick of the whip. Boom, right? Boom, yeah, boom. Boom. And you can send that whip anywhere, down, middle, up. So we played with that quality, and then we took it into a little sequence. And I think I'm going to stick with doing it towards the front here. So we did down, a down strike, middle strike, and an upper strike. So down, middle, upper. And you can add the melons to this. What you do is, first of all, let's start off with having our awareness of the melons present. Okay? So just swell them out and fill them up. Try to hold the shape as though you've got those 3 melons in place. Okay, good. Let's try the other direction. So with the other arm. Good. Good. All right. There's a bit more to it. Okay. So let's do it again. And this time what we're going to do is, there's this, again, I mentioned it last class, there's this kind of like bouncing quality in the knee, like when we do the flicking exercise. So let's have a little bit more flick into it. And as you do, think of the bottom melon especially. And that what you're doing every time you flick is you let the bottom melon drop a little bit. It comes up and it drops a little bit. It comes up and it drops a little bit. All right? And so every time you're flicking the whip, there's a little bit of a little bit of a knee drop, knee bounce, and a little bit of a melon bounce. Okay? So there's this, and there's this. Subtle. It's small, but both together ground you while sending energy out the arm, sending a wave of energy out the arm. And this is what Python and Boa are both about. They use wave actions to make things or let things happen. So this is the quality of the Python. So let's do it slowly. So knee, little knee bounce, little melon drop, boom, boom. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Knee and melon. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Other arm. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. That gives you a flavor of the Python and how it moves. Okay. Let's finish off. Let's finish off with some Boa. Hopefully that gave you a sense of how you use the quality of the flicking exercise, which I meant to do and I left it out. We'll do it again tomorrow. But you can go back to that exercise. Just a quick little demo. So this is what it looks like. So you can go back to that exercise and you can incorporate that quality with the melon. So the flicking emphasizes the looseness and the ability to let the wave travel through the body. And the melon promotes a sense of cohesiveness, of groundedness in the body. So you don't just go off in all directions, but you also don't just contract down. It's a balance between the two. So you can play with that. So let's finish off with the Boa bow. And we'll do that together. And exhale. Excellent. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel fantastic. All right. Thank you so much for being here, joining me on this Sunday afternoon. I hope that you're well, you're healthy, you're safe, and I hope that you're enjoying these presentations and that you're being introduced to a whole different world of breathing and moving and a whole different kind of cosmology. So be well, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. And for now, thanks everybody.